Hey guys, Dark Humility here with yet another mini guide and demo on the Season 10 closed beta. This is Holy Freeze Charger, with using the equipment to get the Holy Freeze, and then of course getting the synergies of Holy Freeze to boost the damage. Now, this is just one charge build, but I do want to demo this of course for you guys in Season 10 because in Season 10, they fixed all the charge bugs, including desync, which is actually huge. I mean, I got to 99 hardcore without them fixing desync. They fixed all the other bugs in Season 9. I was okay with that. But now, it's even cleaner. But what's crazier about it as well is that there's also attack speed, though. So, charge has its proper attack speed frames now. It no longer doesn't require attack speed. So, in other words, you do need attack speed. You'll notice, of course, that I'm wearing Fanaticism on this Mercenary to make sure I have it. Before, that would have been completely worthless to have that, so interesting stuff, right? Interesting stuff. Anyway, we will go over the Holy Freeze Charger just to show you guys the skill, of course, and how it's working with charge. I always recommend, by the way, to hit the final breakpoint. Always make sure you're hitting that final breakpoint, because man, if you're not, that charge attack speed penalty of not having it doesn't really feel that great. So make sure you're hitting max breakpoint on charge and you'll always be good. Anyway, let's go over the stats, skills, gear, and we will demo him and show just how powerful the charger can be. And all forms of the charger are powerful, trust me, because I've tested them all. They all have advantages and disadvantages, slight advantages or disadvantages in speed as well. But there's a lot of different chargers. They'll be on the tier list, of course, which we will release the video of on the 23rd. So make sure you guys come in for that. Obviously, Season 10 will start on the 25th. Anyway, let's go into the stats of this character here. So you want enough strength to wear the gear. You're going to want enough dex to get maximum block with Holy Shield. And then, of course, the rest of the points go into Vitality. Now, it'd be nice to have better res, but because of lack of corruptions on my gear and just being lazy about maxing out defensiveness on the beta, where I just want to show off max power and damage, doesn't really matter. If you're a hardcore player, that's definitely going to matter. On softcore, maybe not as much, because your offensive power is high enough to where you might not have to worry about the defense, at least not most of the time. Alright, so then you're going to need a lot of Elemental Pierce, so that's why we have our own. We're actually using Paladin Conviction, which has increased range in Season 10 as well. Hard points into Conviction on the Paladin itself has insane range versus the Aura Granted one on items, which is the same. You might have heard rumors that was being nerfed. It is not. It is the same. They have reverted that because they realized it didn't feel very good. But anyway, Elemental Pierce, you want the most negative res as possible. Conviction helps out with that as well. You can, of course, have max blocks, so FHR, not super important. And of course, you have amazing block frames because you're playing a Paladin. And you have Holy Shield or Holy Sword, whichever one. Holy Sword doesn't even have block frames.
I can already tell that I'll be your best friend in this forsaken.
Holy Sword is pretty insane, but that's if you're using a two-handed version. So good stuff, good stuff. Hey, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Cult of Xana. Drew Stay, Jorsh. Hope you're doing well. All right, and then of course, awesome stuff. And then cool. That's pretty much all I need to know there. And then we go to the skills, where you just put in all the synergies in Holy Freeze. Not Holy Freeze itself, because you're not using it. You're getting it from your gear. You just want to synergize it so that the aura is maxed out. So you want the Blessed Aim, Salvation, and Resist Cold on there. You want those maxed out. You gotta max out Conviction, of course. You could also max out Joust instead, and then max out Conviction. Either way, it's pretty close. And then you might lose like a couple of res points or a couple of points on your cooldown. But either way, it's insanely strong. Doesn't seem to matter too much. Joust, of course, will allow you to move through the map faster, though. So that's why it's important to lower the cooldown and max that out. And then you put 1 point into Holy Shield. Now the mercenary needs to be some kind of fanaticism, probably. It could be Act 1, but you really want to get the attack speed frames good on charge now in Season 10, as charge is now a fair, solid ability. That being said, Act 5 mercenary survives very well, and of course you can give him innocence and ferocity as well, so that he taunts the monsters, which makes them, of course, clump up, which is even more devastating for an ability that charges into them with limited AoE. Of course, you've got a bunch of survivability as well, which is pretty key. You don't need this kind of crazy stuff, though. Any kind of fanaticism will probably do to get that attack speed breakpoint low enough to where the attack speed on your gear can carry the rest. And then, of course, yeah, you can just use any kind of like shaft stop or whatever if you just want them to never die. Good stuff. Now on my gear, I'm going to want to use Doom and Shattered Wall. These are required items on this version of the build. You actually have to have both for your Holy Freeze to be strong. The rest of the items are going to be trying to get that Cold Pierce up. So it could be Ormus, you could use Arcane's Valor if you want something tankier. You could use Shaft Stop if you want something tankier than that. You could use Nightwings, of course. You can use Kira's in some cases, but I don't know why you would, because you think you get a lot more damage from Nightwings in most cases, and with just half freeze duration and some other source of half freeze duration, you can be oh wait, never mind. You have CBF on Shattered Wall, so you're actually good. You don't have to worry about that at all. Mara's for res, because my res is really bad without Mara's, so I'm just gonna use Mara's. And then Wisp Projector does help out my attack rating a bit. It's not super good, but that's okay. We have Paladin Conviction. Paladin Conviction means all the monsters have 70% less defense. So you don't need a lot of AR to actually hit them. It should be alright, no problem. But you don't want it too low though, so keep that in mind. Of course, all good stuff, but yeah. And of course, this is for sustain mostly, but it also got attack speed. You can use Frosties as well, but the life after each kill is nice, and it's hard to get the corruption on beta, so once again, I do like to try to do that. It's kind of nice to have that sustain, though. And then you have Merman Sprocket, Wisp Projector, Verdungos, and all the other things, and you have a bunch of cold damage LCs to help you out as well. Alright. And then, of course, on the Mercenary... Oh, yeah, we already went over... we're good. So you actually need cold damage LCs and not offensive skillers because you're using it on the gear and not on yourself. So you actually need these. These are for the damage. You can use less of them if you want more res down here, but those are your damage. That's a lot of damage. Yeah, the damage will start going down, as you can see, once I start taking them out. It's not insane though. I mean, you can lose probably like 2k damage and just have res or MF instead, or whatever you want to do. And of course, Merman Sprocket does help the charge go faster. I use this for DR. You don't really need plus skills because once again, it's not your Holy Freeze, but the plus skills do help things like Conviction. So they're still helping you out, just maybe not as much as you might think damage-wise. It's more important that you get percent cold damage and cold pierce, and then you just use those. Anyway, Holy Freeze Charger in Season 10. Let's see what it looks like when you got your max frames and everything else going on. I'll do a few map demos, and that will be it for the mini guide and demo for this build. And the cool thing about Phase Blade Doom is that Phase Blade has the fastest attack speed frame. It's something I forgot to mention, but Phase Blade has the fastest base attack speed, which is -30 on a weapon. You can see in the end game you can get incredibly powerful with gear like this. And of course you can make it easier, of course, keep chaining with Joust so you can get into the next pack. And you keep charging and then charging into the next pack. It's pretty simple, honestly. And it's devastating. Super devastating. It's really clean. Yeah, it's very clean. No desync, nothing. Insane in Season 10. Insane. Looks like I can't break that one. It's cold immunity. Of course, I could zeal him to death and he'll die that way too, but, you know. I got 1 point zeal. Well, I think you guys get the idea though in there. Show them off, and I'm actually gonna, let's see. I mean, I'll show them off in one really tough map that's not cows, and I think you guys will understand how powerful this is. And then I think that'll be it actually for this mini guide and demo, and we'll move on to the next one. I mean, I played it with desync on hardcore. I don't think it was that bad. It's just like, you have to avoid doing like long charges sometimes. You'd fucking like just disappear. Like a bus in a cow field. That's a great comment from Twitch chat. A bus in a cow field. So decrep, as you can see, does lower our charge speed, and it actually feels a lot clunkier. That's actually a good demo of that right there. I don't know if this is really the best map for this build, but I will show him off in here because you can see just how strong he is. Canyon is a very difficult map, so. Use Joust off cooldown typically. Get right in there. Make sure you get the Mercenary to help tank so you're not taking all the hits. And that will be that. Let's see, even with crap res, we're actually doing pretty well. Anyway, GG guys, that is the Holy Freeze Charger, and I will see you guys in the next one. Straight from the Mad Lab, Dark Humility, over and out. Let's get it, crush it in Season 10, starting October 25th, 10 a.m. PT. Also, of course, we will be releasing the tier list and infographic on the 23rd sometime. I don't know when. And you guys, of course, can check out all that fun stuff so you guys can prepare what you want to do in the next 2 days. Get it, baby. Crush it. See you guys next time. Peace.